Hello gamers, welcome to another epic guide video with your host, Spelunky Junkie. So if you want some tips on Spelunky, you're in the right place. Maybe you got the game from Game Pass, maybe you're just a new player wanting to pick it up. Either way, these are some of the mistakes or tips that I would like to give new players to the genre or game itself. So without further ado, grab some popcorn and let's get into it, boys. The first tip I have for you today is to use your most powerful tool. Well, I'm new, Jordan. What is the most powerful tool, you might be asking? Is it something from the shop? Is it something from a boss? Well, actually, it's something you spawn with. It's your whip. This is probably the most powerful tool in a Splunker's toolkit. Alright, guys? So, use it. What tips do I have for it? The best tip I can give for you, besides practice with it, is the back whip. Back whip is so strong. You can use it. I'll show some examples on screen to help you use it. And that's one example I can think off the top of my head. Other than that, you can use it while you're moving and etc, etc. So that brings me to tip number 2, which is whipping arrows. So I debated on putting this on here or not, but arrow traps are going to be a big problem for new players early game. So I decided to put whipping arrows and baiting arrow traps in the same tip. If you're a brand new player, you're going to want to bait these by throwing some stone down there and triggering an arrow trap. Or if you're a real god, you can practice whipping them. And honestly, I'll show a couple examples right now of how to whip them. If you're 2 blocks away, you want to front whip. If you're more than that, I suggest back whipping. You're definitely gonna have to practice with this at first. It is not easy at all, but that is a tip, and a lot of players might not even know that you can whip these bad boys and save on resources. Tip number 3 is going to be going to Volcana over jungle. If you don't know, once you get to your first boss, Quillback, if you let him dig to the right, you'll be able to go to Volcana. Volcana always spawns on the right. And in my opinion, it's better for new players to go to Volcana because you can get a back piece that is really good. I won't spoil it. Either way, I think you should go to Volcana. And this is also just information. I'll show a clip on how I kill Quillback to make it easier for you, because Quillback can be a piece if you're new to the game. It might be one of your first struggles in the game, but he's not too hard once you get the hang of it. All you need is 1 or 2 bombs, probably just 1 bomb, because if you miss your first bomb, even for me, it's like, oh my god, it's hard to go back and kill him with another bomb. But yeah, so go Volcana. That's my next tip. I think it's a lot easier than the jungle path to the left. Next, we're going to be talking about turkeys. Turkeys were mounts that were added in Spelunky 2. And some tips for the turkey. So if you don't know, you can jump on a turkey, he'll go wild crazy, and then after a while of that, he'll love you after about 5 seconds, and you can control him. This will give you a double jump and a glide, and they have about either 4 or 6 HP. They have a lot of HP, so they can tank the hits for you. If you get hit, you'll be knocked off, but you won't take damage. The turkey will. Also, if these bad boys die, you can blow their bodies up and or burn them in some way, and you'll get some cooked turkey meat. How freaking epic is that? That's gonna heal you for 1 point. And if you didn't know, on 1-2 or 1-3 randomly, you'll always have at least 2 turkeys, so it's pretty nice. Also in Volcana, they spawn much more frequently, especially more frequently than the jungle, at least as far as I can tell. So yeah, be using these turkeys for sure. Also, on the subject of the turkeys, on 1-2 or 1-3, if you see this man called Yang, you can actually turn in 2 of these turkeys and he will give you a key, which is pretty epic, and you can go get his loot in the back layer. But it's up to you whether you want to do it or not, because sometimes it can net some really good stuff, but most of the time it's not going to be that good. But if you're not going to use the turkeys anyways, you might as well do Yang's side quest. Plus, he's going to sell you those turkeys on the next level, usually in Volcana, which is pretty cheeky. But if you want 3 turkeys, you can buy them and blow them all up for 3 HP. Why not? Alright, the next tip we're going to be having for you today is getting 10,000 gold before level 1-2 and or 1-3. So it's a good practice to try to gather lots of gold, preferably about 10,000, which may sound high, but isn't that bad if you're looking for gold pieces. and little jewels and stuff like that. Now the reason you want to get 10k is in case the shopkeeper is selling a bomb pack, which is normally on 1-2 is like 10,000 exactly, and on 1-3 it might be 11,000. But these give you 15 bombs, and they are amazing. Bombs are probably your second most valuable tool in the game aside from the whip. So yes, definitely try to get 10k before 1-2 or 1-3. Also, if you get a jetpack from the shopkeeper, they're about 20k, so it'll put you a lot more, you know, prepared to actually be able to buy a jetpack rather than steal one. So yes, you heard me correctly. Tip number 6, I believe. Anyways, I lose count on these recordings. Anyways, you heard me right. You can steal from the shopkeeper. So if you are going to steal from the shopkeeper, it's a little tricky. You want to grab something and then throw a rope at him while he's underneath you and run out. It's a little more advanced and not necessarily a new player technique, but it can be fun if the shopkeeper has some really good stuff. And then what you want to do is you want to go to the next level and not even touch, don't even stomp on the shopkeeper, don't even hurt him, and go to the next level, and then he will forgive you and he will not be guarding the door anymore. So yes, if you rob him, he'll be guarding the door, but if you don't kill him on the next level or on the first level where you robbed him, he'll forgive you after that. So my tip is to, if you are going to steal from the shopkeeper, do it on 1-3, because on 1-4 you have a very easy way to jump down to the next level, and usually you'll never have to touch the shopkeeper, and it's very easy to have him forgive you. So tip, rob the shopkeeper on 1-3 if you're going to at all. Alright, my next tip is to throw pots, don't whip them. This is a common mistake a lot of new players make, and some veterans make. I mean, I make this mistake on accident sometimes. If you don't know, when you whip a pot, you have like a 33% chance to get nothing, 33% chance to get some loot, and 33-ish% chance to spawn a monster. And by monster, I mean like snake, spider, etc. But if you're really unlucky, you can even spawn a scorpion. So it's better if you pick up these bad boys and you throw them and then pick up the loot or kill the monster, rather than if you break it in your face, it's gonna probably end up in you taking more damage than necessary. So yes, tip number whatever, throw the pots, don't whip them. So next tip is jetpacks explode. So any backwear that is like a machine rather than like wings or a cape, which is the only other thing that is backwear in this game, they will all explode at any touch of any fire. So fire arrow touches you with a backpack, GG dead. If a fire enemy on Volcana touches you with a jetpack, GG dead. So my one tip for this is just be careful. Just be aware that if you do have a jetpack, they're very good, but you might even want to consider going jungle path if you plan to take this jetpack all the way to the end. So just keep that in mind. It is a tip that you should know before going on. Alright, next up we have save the pupper. So this might seem like common sense, and I don't know if this is actually even gone over in tutorial, but I assume it is. I just wanted to re-mention it in here in case anyone missed it. Save the pupper. If you take this puppy to the exit, he's gonna heal you on the next on your way to the next floor. So yeah, very useful. You can actually rack up a ton of HP, and I've actually beaten like the final huge boss, secret bosses of the game, just by rescuing puppies. No external health at all, so make sure you're not ignoring this when you can. Save puppy, heal with turkeys. HP is a big part of this game, and obviously if it goes to 0, you know, it's over. It's probably the biggest part of this game. Anyways, I know that might be common sense, but just save the puppy. Alright, and my last tip for the game is going to be about sacrificial altars. A little spooky, a little cool. Anyways, these are probably one of the most overpowered things in the game if you can get them on your side. My tip is, if you see one and you're able to sacrifice the dog rather than save him, I would do it. First sacrifice, you're going to get a random item from Kali herself, handpicked from Kali for that seed. But 2 puppies, you're always going to get a Kapala, which blood from your enemies, or the puppy even, any blood at all, will heal you. So it's very awesome, really good for longer runs, just good in general, because we know how precious HP is. So any and all blood will heal you once you touch it. It also has some good synergies, etc., etc. Also, you can sacrifice other things, but the puppies are worth the most points. I don't know the calculations for the points. The more things you sacrifice, the better. And after you get the blood cup, or the Kapala, I call it the blood cup because it's funny. But anyways, once you get the Kapala, the more you sacrifice, Kali will continue to give you honey, which will heal you 4 HP every time. I believe it's 4. It's 4 or 6. Either way, very, very good. Alright, gamers. So I wanted to thank you all for watching today's guide. So thank you so much for watching. I'm on my way to 250 subs. So if you'd like to join me on my epic quest to 250 subs before the end of the year, we're going at a pretty fast rate. I would very much appreciate it. You can expect more guides and fun short videos, on the channel. Stuff like that of the same quality. I'm working on a alien compass guide, which actually should have been uploaded before this video, but I'm having a hard time getting footage. Nonetheless, thank you all so much for watching. I know some of these tips were pretty basic if you're not a new player, but this was definitely aimed at new players who probably picked up the game from Game Pass or just, like I said, wanted to play the game for the first time. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you epic gamers in the next one.